Hey everyone, it's Jason here with a new update for FireJumpers Inferno. So this one's not so much of an update as much as a thank you to all of the fans of FireJumpers Sandbox, the previous version. It's still making some sales, and over the last couple of months, it's kind of had a little bit of a spike, enough for me to purchase a new laptop. So yay! I am super happy about that. And let's take a look at a newer high-res video where the frame rate is at like 300 frames pretty consistently. So let me just go and do a bit of a brief recap just for those who are new to FireJumpers Inferno. It's a cooperative multiplayer wildland firefighting game on an epic scale. So here is a map of California, and you can play anywhere here. Now, just to kind of break it down, each one of these pixels at a kind of California map is a downloadable content, which is about a 4 by 4 kilometer area. Okay, so I have 28,000 of these little downloadable content that people can assemble together to create larger map sizes. So let's take a look. Let's say just kind of a one tile map here. Um, let's see. Let's grab a little area here. All right. So this is a single tile, one piece of downloadable content, and this is about 4 kilometers. It's got some padding. This is kind of sea level, and so you can see where this terrain lies based on sea level. Now this could be done for tutorials. We could have small fires, add some units. Um, let's see, and just kind of bring them over here. Right, now the game is at game speed 10, and the way it works is that units, you draw line paths to the different areas that you want to go, and the unit will automatically begin to either spray some water. So this engine here is spraying some water, and the line thickness indicates how much, how effective it is. So this guy coming in a little bit closer will have kind of a thinner line. Um, and yeah, you just kind of drive you just kind of create little line paths like that. All right, so um, now this is really not big enough to show all the aircrafts that I have here. I've got a sky crane, which is awesome. Over here, I've got a twin air. Now, I'm not sure if that's really a wildland firefighting aircraft, but it's what I've been able to find. I might customize it a little bit. We've got some engines, and I've got some other aircrafts over here. Another helicopter, another kind of jet engine over here. And I think I have a bird dog plane. Yeah, just a little guy right here. All right, so let's go back to the California map here. Now, as a free user, I want the game to be free. So, but this is a lot of data, and so I can't. This is like 2 gigs, so it kind of costs me some money to offer this. So, as a free user, I still want people to play. They get to load little 2 by 2 areas, so they can just kind of take a little area, and it's a nice little size, right? It's enough to kind of play a little scenario. Start your little fire, add your units, and it works out pretty well. Um, and users will be able to, free users will be able to load as many as they want. They'll just go around, but only two at a time, right? Now, I wanted to kind of offer different price ranges to be able to create different size maps. So I wanted to offer a 5 by 5 size map, which would look something like this. So this is a 10 by 10, and this is a 20 by 20. So uh, for about $10, right, you would be able to generate a maximum size of a 5 by 5 size map, which is a very comfortable size map to be able to create fires on, right? So you can see here the line divisions, right? They kind of go. Now, a couple things about the data. This is real data. This is GIS data that I got from landfire.gov website, and they offer amazing amount of data. I'm only using two. One is the elevation, and the other one is the fuel code. So there are 40 different ways that a fire can burn, and each one of these fuel codes are described by this crosshair. So if you look over here, you can see the description. So this is TL4 is the code, small down logs, rate of spread. This is based off of the 10 kilometers an hour here. Um, and so depending on the different terrain, this is 17.4 pixels per hour. So that's quite fast. But the flame length is kind of only medium, about 1.1 meters. So it's grass. So it burns fast, but not very, very high. Still can really get out of control quickly here. And each one of these pixels in size is a 30 meter by 30 meter area. Okay, so a lot of data right here, even at a 5 by 5. Now for, the big fans of the game, for $20, right? $20, you can create 10 by 10 map sizes, right? So you can go anywhere you want and just build a whole bunch. And for $10, that will work out here. And it'll look something like this. All right. Now, right? Wow. Okay. Nice big map, right? You can kind of load this area, and this will be great for probably between 10 to 20 players. Maybe the other map is maybe kind of a 3 to 4 player map. By this one, you could probably get a fairly decent sized fire kind of going, and having a lot of units and aircrafts kind of working together to fight the fire. So that is for $20, and you know what? It's going to be great. Now for agencies, right? Agencies or maybe super fans, right? You want to create 20 by 20, right? Size maps. 50, I just find it takes very, very long to load, way too long. And 20 really kind of does the trick anyways. So let's load this area, which is a 20 by 20. And I'm thinking this would be about $50. So this would be the top line, right? So a $50 game, and you can create whatever scenarios that you want at that point at a 20 by 20. All right, so this is what a 20 by 20 map looks like. All right, just huge, right? And you get to place your units, you know, and it'll kind of auto snap to the road, um, in the area. So let's take a look at the aircrafts. So here is the Twin Air. This is the fastest of the units. So let's go right up to 800. All right, here we go. So unlike the ground units where you use a line path to direct the units, the aircrafts you fly, right? Um, and the idea is you'd find different water areas to be able to kind of go down and scoop up some water, depending on the plane or the helicopter. And the controls are really simple. It's just a kind of a point to click. So imagine the screen is split in half and in half. So anything, if I put my mouse down on the bottom half of the screen, it's going to go down. If I go up, and the higher I go up, the quicker the acceleration, right? I can turn really, really quick. I can turn just a little bit. And I've got this kind of HUD display. So this is, if I can get, this kind of leveled off, this is where the aircraft is, not going up or down. So And one of the things too to help kind of control it is I can give it an angle like this and then click away. And then the aircraft is going to create a very large circle, keeping that same angle. And this way you can keep your units in play. You can see it right here, just kind of flying. It's very tiny, right? And he's going really fast. So, yes, it's a lot of fun. Now, the camera also zooms in automatically. So the lower I get to the ground, the closer I will get to a first-person perspective. So here we go, right? Now, um, it will automatically kind of zoom in and out depending on how close you are to the ground. There is no crashing, so I can just go right into the mountain if I want, and it'll just kind of push me right up. I don't think I'm gonna add crashing in Inferno, maybe as an option later, but in the sandbox, I just found that there were trolls who were trying to crash on purpose into other players, and that doesn't make it fun. So the idea here is that you can, just kind of play around and, not worry about crashing into mountains or into each other. It's all about, kind of fighting the fire. And then, yeah, you can come down here. And if I slow down, you can see the aircraft kind of zooms in and out. So if I go fast, it kind of zooms out. So the camera follow, I've been working really hard just to give that kind of smooth. So if I'm at just over 100, I can still fly. If I go a little bit lower, it will automatically land. And here we go. So then we stop. So, um, and then we can just kind of take off again. Now this is at game speed 10. I think it's a good speed overall. 5 is also good when you want to just kind of take it easy a little bit. Game speed 1, that's very slow. That is realistic, like 1 second is 1 second. And that's a bit slow, especially when you're dealing with the ground troops. Um, they're, they, they're not as fun. Um, yeah, so, okay, let's see. We've got this guy, and we've got, let's take a look at the sky crane here. This is a helicopter. Helicopters are done a little bit differently. So let me actually just come to kind of a hover, and I'm just going to go up here. So I'm just going to start going up. Um, when you're in first person, you're kind of like in the cockpit. So helicopters, when you start moving forward, they tilt forward and they tilt back, depending on which way they're going. So I can go backwards. And to kind of reflect that, um, when I start going down, and let me get into a first person perspective here. Okay, so if I start going forward, it's going to tilt forward and so it's going to feel like I'm falling, but it's still level. It's just going forward and backwards. So it's a slightly different feel than aircrafts, like planes, but um, but it'll be kind of fun to handle a helicopter slightly differently than an airplane. So just small differences. Um, yeah, and here we go. We've got a small bird dog. Now this guy, he's just a little plane. He only goes up to about 185 kilometers an hour. Doesn't even spray water. Uh, his purpose is to survey the land, figure out where the fire is, right? Um, you know, and and that's about it, right? Um, just kind of take control here. Uh, and now the aircrafts, everything's proportional. Everything is kind of measured. So at 30 meters, all the units, the ground troops, the engines, things like that. If they're moving at 100 kilometers an hour, it's moving appropriately in its speed here as well. So this kind of makes it fun. Um, and let's bring right back out. You can kind of survey the land, and this is just a huge map. So you can imagine, a massive fire, and you know, technically, I can get up to 200 players working simultaneously. So I mean, you can just imagine 200 players, 5 units each. I mean, it's going to be epic. I'm curious to see. I haven't stress tested it at that level yet, but we'll see how that kind of comes out. So that is about it here. I mean, I really like this this plane going at 810 times game speed. Yeah, definitely fun, especially when you get kind of lower down to the ground here. You start going through the valley. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I think people are really going to have fun, um, flying this. I was even thinking maybe even creating like little mini games. Can you imagine like, you get your aircraft, and then you get like little rings and you gotta like fly through it. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I just feel like there's a lot of options here. All right. Well, all right. I think that's about it. Let's fly all the way up here. Get a nice perspective here of the size and the scale of this map. Every pixel ready to burn. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.